G7 conversation was tied to your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. Guys, you know, we've been watching the left go farther and farther, get crazier and crazier, more and more corrupt for basically my entire life, right? And really, until recently, I had just about given up hope that we'd ever be able to stop them. But now it feels like we're starting to see something that I've never seen happen, and I didn't think was going to happen. Their tricks, their corruptions, their psyops, whatever you want to call them, they're all like one by one starting to finally backfire. Now, complete and full disclosure, you know, we still might not be able to stop them. I got serious reservations. I'm seriously concerned. I have no idea. It might be too late. I'm not sure, but we're sure as hell going to try. You know, we're pretty effed, but I think we can get it done. But if we are going to stop them, guys, it's going to be a team effort for sure. And I'll explain everything I'm rambling on about in just a second. But first, guys, if you haven't already, please help this channel continue to grow. You know, I think moving into 2024, it's going to get more and more difficult to get conservative voices heard, right? So we are going to have to work together, guys. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel, share the videos. So here's what I mean. Here's what I'm talking about. Just think about it. You know, from Hillary Clinton's Russia collusion BS to impeachment 1 and the Ukraine phone call that literally was ginned up by military deep staters pretending to be unbiased patriots who went to Adam Schiff, of all people, like every good patriot would, right? And to now, we've got Colorado, where 4 out of 7, all Democrat-appointed, Democrat-identified activist judges unconstitutionally removed Donald Trump from a ballot. And they are all backfiring. They're all backfiring one by one, and each one kind of makes the last one look even worse. And here's why. People are not stupid. The Democrats sure think they are, and the Democrats, they think they are because they've had a lot of power. And Democrats depend on nothing more than uninformed, unintelligent voters, right? And the worst kind, the ones that think they're very smart, but they aren't, you know. Democrats think you're all stupid. We are not. And you can only preach democracy so much as they do. Eventually, you got to walk the walk. And they do not know how to walk the walk. They've been chipping away and destroying democracy for so long that they really don't have any idea what it even means anymore. They don't even remember how to act like they like democracy or the Constitution or this country. And here's the result. You know, people see the government as corrupt, and they see themselves, a lot of people truly do see themselves in Donald Trump. You know, the left has succeeded in one thing and only one thing. They've turned one man, just one guy, into a movement.
These numbers around, Tiana.
Crucially, Biden doesn't have anyone waiting in the wings, right? He chose a uniquely unpopular vice president in Kamala Harris, who also boasts some record low approval ratings, right? She's less popular than Dick Cheney was after he shot a man in the face. And it's not as though Democrats have a very strong backbench. Joe Biden would be 86 at the end of a second term, so he cannot, you know, shake off the feeling that voters have that he is simply too old and too incompetent. Will Biden be able to hold the line when it comes to supporting Israel and its counteroffensive against Hamas? That could be a sign that could get some of those moderate voters that helped clinch the election for him in 2020. That could restore some confidence, right? It shows fortitude. It shows his willingness to hold the line against the left flank of his party. But at the same time, he's losing a lot of those young Democratic voters. He's in a bind here. I don't know how much more it can change, except for, you know, these inflation numbers continue to come down, and that gives the room to the Fed, to the Federal Reserve, to cut some interest rates, and you see mortgages going down a little bit. It's possible, but the fundamentals are just not strong.
And the president is having a hard time keeping his predecessor out of the conversation. Take a look at this opinion piece from the New York Times. For as long as Donald J. Trump has dominated Republican politics, many Democrats have pined for a magical cure-all to rid them of his presence. There was the Mueller investigation, then came the first impeachment, then the second impeachment. Each time, Democrats entertained visions of Mr. Trump meeting his political downfall. Each time, they were disappointed. What are your thoughts on this and how the Democrats just can't seem to move on from Donald Trump?
I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And this is what's happened. Every time Democrats try to take out Trump in ways that do not mean just beating him at the ballot box, it always backfires. When you had the Russia collusion hoax, which it was a hoax, right? That only empowered Trump, and it also made his supporters, I think somewhat justifiably, feel as though Democrats were weaponizing the security state to rob him of his first term. Some of his supporters feel, obviously, that COVID measures skewed the 2020 election results out of Trump's favor, and now you have the Colorado Supreme Court outright trying to disenfranchise half of the state, right? Taking away their option to vote for Trump. Look, and when Donald Trump was first in...
And the more that these events start to happen, it just seems to benefit Donald Trump.
Yeah, you guys see that, man. The lady has got some swagger, man. I love it. She said that in the nicest way possible. The Democrats have no bench. She said even Dick Cheney, after shooting his friend in the face with a shotgun, was more likable than Kamala Harris. Even the guy he shot would agree, because who wouldn't, man? But the lady, she's not just taking pot shots. She is exactly right. The Democrats did this to themselves. It's like a kid who puts more effort into making it look like he cleaned his room when he could have actually cleaned his room in half the time. If the Democrats had put half as much energy into actually beating Donald Trump, into actually being better than Donald Trump as they have into, perverting and abusing every possible governmental control that they could get their hands on, they probably would have. We'd all be counting the days to the end of Hillary Clinton's horrific second term. I'm sure of it. But anyway, they didn't do that. And now we got a chance. Guys, that's all I've got. Let me know your take in the comments. I really want to know what you have to say about this. And if you haven't already, guys, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.